Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Michael, and I wanted to make a video talking about the economy. The first thing I want to talk to you about is the bad outlook that I see going on. Lumber prices, right? Let's look at an indicator. Lumber prices have gone down, and lumber prices going down means there's less demand for home builders to purchase lumber, lumber to build homes. And if you look at a home, it's 80% lumber. So if lumber is going down, that means people are not building homes, right? And there's low inventory already, as people say, apparently. So the reason why I say that's a bad indicator is because if home builders are not confident in the future, that means that there's less homes out available, right? But you might say, oh, well, that's a good thing because, I have multiple properties and houses are going to continuously going up. And that may have been true for many, many years, but every cycle, something happens, something breaks. And I'm going to tell you the other things that I believe that might break. So again, lumber prices are going down. So home builders are not confident into the future. That's usually what it means. The next thing, is the repossession market. People buy cars that they couldn't afford for whatever reason. I had to buy a new car because my old car took a crap during the pandemic, and I was like, great, this is the worst time that this could have ever happened. So, I had to buy a car, and I bought a new car because of the financing was cheaper to buy a new car, and the car prices were at the same rate or higher. So a used car was higher priced, and the financing on that was going to be higher. So I bought a new car because I had to buy a new car because it just wouldn't make sense to buy a used car. So the repossession market is high. People had either choices or people just didn't have choices, and whatever the case may be, the repossession market is high. Anyways, with that being said, the repo market is going bad. The third thing is unemployment. Unemployment is like the lubrication to all the gears that are running this economy. And if unemployment is starting to tick up, which it is, you look at the charts, every time we have this trough, meaning the lowest point of unemployment, typically it won't last that long. Things usually spike up. And more people are applying for unemployment. And that just means that people are not going to have an income. And when people don't have an income, they're not going to pay for your cars. They're not going to pay for housing. They're not going to pay for many different things. They might even go on food stamps, depending on the situation. So, not pay for food stamps, but use food stamps. So people are going to lose homes. People are going to lose cars, things like that. And it's already happening, unfortunately. So those are the three things as of right now. The repossession, the lumber, the unemployment. The next thing is the yield curve. If you look at the yield curve, if you know anything about yield curves, I'm not going to get into the details of it, but pretty much you have treasury bonds, and treasury bonds are a way that people will lend money, their personal money, to the government to get a rate of return. And why do people usually do that? It's because it's pretty much a secure way of making an interest on the money you have that's sitting around. So you could invest, or not invest, but you could give, let's say, $1 million to the government for 10 years, and you make let's say, 5% return. And typically, the longer the term is, meaning the longer you give the money to the government, the higher the risk is. Therefore, you should be rewarded with higher amounts of money. But as of right now, typically this happens when things go wrong. The shorter term, meaning your two-year treasuries, right? They're priced at a higher rate than a 10-year. And this usually only happens when something is wrong. Something is happening, and it's been happening for the past couple of years now. And typically when it uninverts, when it goes back to the normal way, or the right way of doing business, the normal operation, when you start seeing the uninversion, meaning things going back to how it's supposed to be, recession happens. So that's another indicator. And you just look around. You talk to anybody right now, even the people that are making $100,000 a year, they're struggling. Like, talk to people. Like, actually be like, look, like, talk to me. Like, what is going on with your finances? Like, don't bullshit me. And you will see a lot of people are struggling. So the fact that people are struggling, people can't pay for their cars, food prices are going up. Oh, and last thing is in state like Florida and other places, home insurance is going at a premium because of housing prices going up. The state wants to have more money, or whatever the case may be. Insurances are going up, property taxes are going up, your car insurance may be going up. Your like in Florida, a lot of insurance companies dipped out, and so there's only a few home insurance companies that are still there that are willing to give you insurance, but their insurance are at a premium, like maybe even 100%. So if you're already cash strapped, which what I just talked to you about, and premiums are going up when it comes to insurances and stuff like that, there's a big issue, because if people can't afford a house insurance, they're going to have to sell their home. And if a whole bunch of people have the same issue at the same time, people are going to sell their homes, and even a 5-10% dip in the housing prices will freak out a whole bunch of people that own multiple properties. Because if you have 3 properties at $400,000 a year, $400,000, it's $1.2 million. 10% is $120,000. That's pretty much a new home, or a down payment on a home. And if you have renters that are not paying the rent at the same time, you're more likely to be wanting to sell your property at a faster rate. So you're going to give discounts. And when other people and more people try to sell their homes, that's where the escalation can keep going. And the fact that we just build a whole bunch of new homes and they're hitting the market at the same time, you will see that happening. Last thing is, you could probably get a better deal buying a new home right now than a used home. And the reason for that is because of the financing. You might get the same square footage and everything else with the prices, but the financing is different. When you traditionally buy a used house, you go to a lender, you say, hey, I make this much money, this much debt, give me a rate, and let me know what I can afford, apparently. So you go there, you get the rate and all that, and it's maybe 2% difference between a used house and a new house, because the home builders are going to be motivated to sell a home, and they're going to give you a better deal. So anyways, look into those things. Let me know what you think, and that's all I have to say about this.